Hello, my friends, hello, and welcome once again to Stately Vaughan Manor. And today, it's another thrill-packed episode of my 100 Favorite Books project. My 100 Favorite Books project, I made a video with a list of my 100 favorite books. I'll link it down below because you don't want to miss any of my thrilling videos. And that one was just, thrilling. So I came up with a list of my 100 favorite books. And for this project, my 100 favorite books project, I am taking one of those books and I am choosing the nicest edition I could find of that book. And I'm going to keep that as my edition of that book. And I will get rid of all of the other copies that I might have lying around of that book. And today's book is The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. And this is the Time Machine volume that was printed by the Heritage Press. Now I do have another copy of the Time Machine in an omnibus volume. I mentioned it the other day when I talked about The Island of Dr. Moreau. They're both in the same omnibus volume. But I wanted my own copy of the Time Machine since it is one of my very favorite books ever. And this is the edition, which is going to be my edition. I have a lot of copies of the Time Machine lying around. And so I'm going to unhaul all of those copies of the Time Machine. And probably do a giveaway or something. Because everybody should read the Time Machine. Because it's an excellent little book. It's a little book. It's, it's probably around 96 pages normally. I don't know how much it is in this edition. It was originally printed in 1895. H.G. Wells, this was his first major science fiction novel, short novel. I love this cover because it starts off in 1895 and goes all the way into the future. We are right around there. So this was printed by the Heritage Press, this edition. Heritage Press was around from 1937 to 1982. Am I right? I'm right. 1982. And then they were purchased by the Easton Press, the press that makes those fancy pants leather-bound volumes. And I'll be talking about those in the near future too on this project. But this is the original Heritage Press edition of it. And the Heritage Press, they would reprint volumes that were originally published by the Limited Editions Club, which, did volumes in limited edition. But the Heritage Press, reprinted those and made them more widely available. They did really, really nice books. I like the Heritage Press books a lot, so I was very happy to get my hands on a copy of The Time Machine. This was printed, I believe, in 1964. Yes, 1964. It looks like it was printed yesterday. It is a beautiful copy. Now, when you get these Heritage Club editions, you want your copy of the sand glass. The sand glass... Hey, can you stop being awful? Stop being awful. This is the second time you've ruined my 100 books project with your barky mouth. So just be quiet. Be quiet. Okay? Okay. I don't think she's going to be quiet. We'll see. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. When you get these Heritage Press editions, you want to make sure that you get your copy of the Sand Glass, which is their little note that they have with every edition, which will talk about the book and the author and the artist for the volume. You want to make sure you have the case, right? Usually these are pretty trashed because these books are old. Hey, don't you see I'm busy over here? Anyway, yes. Make sure you have the case. And if you have all those three things, then you're good. So this copy here, I'll show you this copy here. This is illustrated by Joe Mugnani. That is the title page to the Heritage Press edition. Really cool. This copy is excellent. I mean, it's snow white pages, perfect shape. It looks like it's never been read at all. It's just really, it's in excellent condition. See if I can show you some of the illustrations. Very 1960s looking illustrations here. These are really cool. Look at that. That's awesome. That is, of course, the Sphinx, which the time traveler comes across in his time travels. The Time Machine, a story that kind of takes some of the things that were going on in H.G. Wells' own day with social divisions and social inequality, and he just kind of projects into the future what might happen if those kind of things just continue and continue and continue. And eventually we end up in the very bizarre future that he's talking about, that the time traveler travels to. The very unprepared time traveler. He went to the future thinking, you know, hey, they're just going to have everything I need in the future, and it was not the case. He should have taken a lot more stuff than he did. You know, so note to self, if you ever go time traveling into the future, take a lot of stuff, because you never know what you're going to need. This guy needed a lot more than he had, that's for sure. Anyway, where was I? I was showing you the nice illustrations in this volume. See if I could find some more here. Of course, now that I'm actually talking, I'm not finding them. Here we go. This is the far, far future. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, this edition is great. I'm really, really happy with this. Here he is battling the Morlocks. The Morlocks, the terrifying underground dwellers of the future. Yeah, look at them. They're just creepy little devils. Yeah, the Morlocks are just terrifying. The Time Machine has been one of my favorite books since I was a little kid. This is one of the first books that I read when I was a kid. And it's probably the book that got me really, really interested in science fiction and reading science fiction. And just enjoying the power of just pure escape fiction. Because this book really took me away, man. I was there. I was with the time traveler when I was reading this book. In the far future, with the Eloi and the Morlocks. And I've loved it ever since. Every time I read this, I enjoy it. It's a lot like The Island of Dr. Moreau. I think actually The Island of Dr. Moreau is a better book. But this book is a lot of fun too, The Time Machine. This was not his first time travel story. I think it was in 1888 he wrote The Chronic Argonauts, which was a short story that involved time travel, but it wasn't that great, and it wasn't nearly as good as this. This is an excellent book, which I think still really holds up. If you haven't read it, you owe it to yourself to read it. It won't take you long at all because it's really, really short. And I really am glad I've got this edition from the Heritage Press. Like I said, I love Heritage Press editions. I was lucky to get my hands on this one because it's in such pristine condition. That is rare. Usually when you get these volumes from the Heritage Press, they're usually a little beat up, a little bit. I'll be showing you my copy of The Woman in White a little more closely in the near future, which is from them, and it's not in this condition. It's in good condition, but it's not perfect. This thing is perfect. I guess it's just been sitting somewhere on a shelf or something all this time, since the 60s. But yeah, excellent excellent edition of a fantastic book. It is definitely one of my favorite books of all time. So yeah, that's all I have to say about it today. Sorry about the terrible interruption. That creature, man. All right, guys, I will catch you next time.